time now is 7 p.m. I'm gonna call to order the Wayne Township Board of Trustees, meeting for tonight, Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. May I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Colvin?
Here.
Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Kaufman?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Please rise for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're looking at approval for the minutes of the previous meeting. May I get a motion?
Motion?
You got my one little mixer shot?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know where that dollar amount came from.
I don't know. I'm just checking.
Good.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Alrighty, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor of passing or accepting the minutes as they are, say aye.
Aye.
And any nays, like sign. Motion carried.
That's good. Now, do we have any additions or removals of the posted agenda?
I have resolution 2024-111, resolution to approve entering a grant assistance agreement with LEXIPOL LLC for fire department safety grant fiscal year 2024.
Thank you, Gus. Appreciate that. Now, we are at the welcome. We have, we're gonna invite the library board president, Jacob George, and Kelly Maloney. And you guys have a presentation for us?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yeah, you can be my cheering crowd. Thank you guys for the opportunity to come out here and see you.
Thank you.
I do have a presentation behind your heads, if it may be available in front of you as well. So, the bullet points are on there. We have some handouts to pass out to you guys. Did you get those?
Yes, we did, yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
wonderful. So, what you have in front of you is, I believe, a copy of this map exactly, is that right, that they're seeing that? And then you have also some letters of support, different meeting notes from our community forums. So just stuff that I wanted to make sure that you guys had access to so that you could see some of the work that you've done to get the park started. So if you're not familiar with what we're trying to do, we have a park space planned. I will go through our presentation in a minute and get through there, but so I'll give you a second to look through that information first. While we get moving. You okay?
We're good.
Okay. So going back to 2012, there was an adoption of Wayne Township's Ohio Comprehensive Plan Vision for 2030. And in this plan, actually, was goal number 1, which is to provide recreational opportunities for all age groups through shared recreational resources and to support healthy, active lifestyles. That's what we're trying to accomplish with our project here. So our work so far, on 2020, we had some service on the Village of Waynesville Parks and Recreation Community. Then, in June 2023, the property neighboring the library, which is a total of 1.9 acres, to the north was made available for purchase. October 2023, information shared with the Parks and Rec Committee regarding the purchase of the neighboring property took place. And then we started holding stakeholders meetings, getting some information from the community. What does the community want? What do they need from us? What can we provide as greater service to the community? So that's a little timeline there so far. March 2nd, we had stakeholders from around the community come join us at the library. March 27th, again, an open house was held. And you guys have some information that came from those meetings, some votes from the community, things that they wanted to see, and that will come up in a few slides as well. So what have we learned so far? One, that there's a need and a desire for a close, convenient park in the local community. And that the proximity of this park, the benefit for us is that it will give us the opportunity to expand that programming outside just the physical confines of the library. So we don't have to be just a brick and mortar building any longer, but we can actually invest in the nature and landscape of the community. So programming for nature and wildlife and all sorts of outdoor recreational activities could take place right there in our facility. There's a need for access to these things. So the closest public pool is 11 miles away. There are, and you know, spoiler alert, there's a bit of a splash pad component here, so that's why that information is there. The closest two splash pads, if a family would want to go to that, they would have to either go to Springboro or Centerville, about 10 miles away. So the convenient, easy access for all of these residents would be a huge benefit to the community. As you can see, the numbers of residents within that 1 mile walking radius, 1.5 mile, we're really looking at trying to benefit the village experience for those individuals. Coming out of our community open houses, the three top priorities from the community were the playground itself. They wanted to make sure we have restroom facilities in the park, and the spray ground, which would be, do you guys want to describe the spray ground in any kind of way? So it's not necessarily a splash pad per se, you know, like a massive kind of component, but more of a zero depth kind of entry kind of access.
It's a sprinkle ground.
Sprinkle ground, yes, is how that would go. So yeah, if you're picturing kind of like the big mushroom things with water flying out everywhere, buckets dropping over, that's not exactly what we have in mind here. We don't have the space for that or the capacity, but more of an easy access to little ones to be able to get wet, play around, and do that sort of thing. So we've looked at some operations and maintenance information, and I apologize for the rush on this and the odd capital letters. We are insured by Ohio Plan. Our risk management representative is actually a certified playground safety inspector right now, so we've had some feedback on that. Our plan is to have our current facilities manager and our current landscape maintenance company kind of absorb and take on the greater needs that we would have. That, as far as the conversations have gone thus far, will not be any problematic for us in any way. So they have the capacity to add on those services as well. Landscape maintenance company will take care of the park grounds. Our current janitorial contract will also expand to do the cleanings, the restrooms, the public shelter, the trash receptacles, and things like that. The dollar expected increase from that for the library, so this is the total for the services, not just for the park, would be an increase of $50,000, and you can see the breakdown of where that comes from there. We are trying to be extremely liberal with our buffer there, so that, you know, we have the flexibility to make sure that we can do the things that we want to do. So you do see a pretty robust number there, but that's just to make sure that, you know, we don't run into any.
Is that annual, I assume?
I'm sorry?
Annual, I assume? Annual?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So for the park itself, those maintenance costs would be right around that $39,000 mark. So that $50,000 would be, you know, the library contract itself. And then we would be budgeting that into our $50,000 into our general fund. So that money's there for us. So what are the features that we're looking at, right? I know you guys have this picture in front of you. So this is all just kind of from our conversation so far. So what you'll see in this picture are the things that I've listed up there: a 1/4 mile walking path, various swings, slides, playground equipment that's accessible for everybody, benches, family restrooms, picnic shelter. The spray ground or the sprinkle ground would be this area right here, and then we would make sure that all of the equipment and plans, and I have a lot more information about that for you, but we've already ensured that all of this stuff would be ADA compliant, make sure that we have accessibility for everybody in the community.
And pickleball court?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, that's not even. Yes, that's the key point. Yes, please make sure that you hear that. Yes, pickleball courts will be included in the
for the big
design.
kids.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So the hope is to make sure that we have accessibility and we have resources that are available for all ages. You know, the spray ground for the little ones, pickleball courts for us, everything that we can do there. Yeah. So. We're coming to you today just for for your support. We are seeking contributions and partnerships from the local community, our boards and people that would be interested in partnering with us and doing some of this work. We're developing different sponsorship opportunities in the library itself. That work's kind of underway in the very initial stages, but we are looking at different ways to honor the local community and give some sponsorship opportunities there in the park itself. And we're always out there looking for community feedback. We have a suggestion box in our physical space right now. We're always looking for ways to get in touch with the community and our neighbors and finding better opportunities to hear their feedback and make sure that the work that we're doing meets the needs of the community. So any support that you guys have or would be able to offer for us would be greatly appreciated. But, we just want to make sure that you guys are up to speed on everything that we have going on down there.
What's the hours of operation? Who's planning on being for this?
For this, we would, I would believe, match library hours.
It'll be open till dusk.
Yeah. So the park itself would have those dawn to dusk.
And not putting up any type of lighting or anything for like being.
We do have lighting.
Mhm.
We have pole lights
Okay.
that will be
Yeah.
on, so for visibility.
Yeah.
Because the Wayne police have told us that they would help with monitoring. And I don't know if you've been by the library, but they sit in front of our library often, which is nice, because there are kids walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's interesting, because just at our last meeting, we had Anna Garofalo was here with a student, and she talked about how the restroom up there at the other park has been there's graffiti and, other stuff, so, we wouldn't want anything like that to happen to something brand new.
Right. Yes. So any other questions, feedback for us from your perspective?
No, I think it's great. I think it's a great addition too, because my kids use the library. They walk over there after school times. And my wife uses the library as well to get books for her kids and stuff, because she teaches in the classroom.
Yeah.
So it's been a great resource for not only just me, but just for our family. We thank you guys. You guys put in a lot of hard work. You can see it in your youth programs as well. I mean, on the different types of days and nights and evenings. It's just great. So thank you from me and my family too, so.
Well, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's my presentation for you today, so.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So next, we have citizens' comments. We have any citizen comments tonight? Say seeing none, we will move on from there. So next, we'll go to road department reports. Mr. Scott Camry, you are up.
Good evening, board. I'm gonna stand pat pretty good with, my report as submitted. Thanks again to, you, Mr. Jacobs, for, arranging for the chips. We got those up to the school and in
Good job, thank
the
you.
playground area and got them spread out, so our part is
That's perfect.
taken care of, so that Mr. Deaton and his plumbing crew can get in there and straighten up that restroom. So the pipe up on Elvin Road, got it tentatively scheduled for Thursday. Working with Warren County Telecom with some radio upgrades, just standard stuff. And then Gus and I had a conversation. He needed to get a POC for the OPWC project over here, and I was able to speak with Mr. Tennyson and Mr. Weber, who presumptively will be the new engineer after the election. And they were going to look everything, get familiar, and then assign it to one of their engineers and get back with us. So, moving along.
What's that project for? What's the actual, thing that's going?
Corwin Avenue.
That's for Corbin Avenue, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
We need some assistance in getting that bid out and the quantities, we have to adjust the quantities.
Okay.
for-
Yeah, we were waiting until the bridge was done and figure out that.
Right, yeah, we were trying to orchestrate a
Yeah.
thing. So hopefully they were very, very helpful. They said bidding it out, no problem. They helped us with that. And so we'll get that out, bid out this fall, and then look for a springtime construction. So
Great.
that's all I have, unless you have anything you need to pass along to me.
I don't have anything.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. You bet.
Next up, fire department report, Chief Beckett.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for having me. Got LEXIPOL policies moving forward. My intent was to send more out to you yesterday, but I was sidelined a little bit with that, so I'll get them out to you tomorrow. As we go through that, we've got our first round that you guys have approved, so now we'll send those out to the members and start having them acknowledge that they've received those policies, and then that'll start happening as we get them. They go through my final approval, I'll send them to you for your final approval, and then they'll get sent out to the crews for them to read and acknowledge. The LEXIPOL Safer Grant Writing, it's gonna be on the resolution tonight. I appreciate your support for that. I think that's gonna be very helpful. And again, as we discussed at the last meeting, that is, the Safer Grant is almost perfectly designed for the Wayne Township Fire Department is right now. We had a structure fire in Elbon, that went very well. It was initially dispatched as a lawnmower fire. And then they came back in about 2 or 3 minutes later as a structure fire, which, you know, I don't perk up at a lawnmower fire, but structure fires grabbed my attention. So by the time I got there, I was at home. They had water on the fire. They were doing everything they were supposed to do. So the one disadvantage of it being way up on Elbon is there's no fire hydrants close. So we used a water shuttle. And big thanks to our mutual aid partners, Turtle Creek, Clear Creek, Massey Township, Clinton Warren, and the City of Lebanon. City of Lebanon made it there because I called for an additional engine company and just for manpower because it was hot, and when the mutual aid partners, they send their tankers, they send 1 or 2 people, but they're dedicated to stay with that truck to go fill it and stuff, so we need more people, so Massey was out at a different incident, so they couldn't, so they called Lebanon, and I didn't realize they called us, so the lieutenant from Lebanon comes walking up, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Well, we're gonna put you to work now that you're here, so they were happy. So it's a reciprocal. Lebanon had that big apartment fire the week before. In case you don't know, all of the county chiefs are on what we call the Incident Management Assistant Team. It's called the IMAT team. So if there's a structure fire anywhere in the county, the chiefs are notified, and if you're close, they ask you to go help manage that incident. I did go down and help with that Lebanon fire. Ended up working with one of the division chiefs, and then as it kind of de-escalated, I went and I ran as the battalion chief and covered the city of Lebanon for them for about an hour or so. So it's a give and take. So that's, you know, in case you didn't know that. Sure. I submitted the load grant for $33,750 for 10 sets of bunker gear. They've received that. Our cost to finish out that outfitting with the helmets and the boots would be $8,726.30. I think that's pretty reasonable. They've received it. I think they started awarding those in October. Gus, is that correct? October, so we'll find out in October. The last thing that is on the report, I have a couple additions, is that Lucas device replacement proposal. The Lucas device is the machine that does CPR for us. Ours are reaching their end of life. They're not going to be supported and serviced by Stryker anymore. So Assistant Chief Lawlich worked on that project, got that proposal together, and I sent it to you. Last week was EMS Expo in Las Vegas that Assistant Chief Lawlich went to through Clear Creek. So
I didn't get those receipts.
yeah,
I don't remember how.
there was no receipts from us for that, but
He didn't do anything for us there, though.
yeah, and I told him, don't you do 1 minute
That's
of Wayne
right.
Township business. But after the event was over, he had a talk with our
Oh, okay.
Stryker rep.
Good.
And the proposal I sent you this afternoon is what he was talking about, and it's that lease. So we have a deadline of October, the end of October, to go through that and make a decision. So if you haven't had a chance to review what I sent you just a few hours ago, please do so, give me your thoughts. but we don't have to do, we're kind of under the gun for the Lucas device replacement to be done by the end of this month, but they're extending that for us while we review the lease to own that I sent you.
Those are such valuable pieces of equipment, aren't they? I mean,
They
I
are.
remember we got those brought into the fire department, and
Yeah.
it was just a game changer, it really was.
It truly is. They're, you know, the big thing the AHA talks about is consistency in CPR, and those machines do consistent CPR or consistent quality CPR.
For extended periods.
Yeah, and we have extended response times, and what it also does for us while it's doing good quality CPR, which is medically proven to help save lives, is it frees up one of our members to do other things. So as we are manpower limited, you know, that takes the role and does that.
And we had 2 of them?
We have to have one for each medic unit, so. And they're not cheap to replace the $23,000, I believe is what's on there for one, so
But it's cheaper than hiring another person.
it is cheaper than one person.
That's kind of what we thought of when
Yeah.
we brought those
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
you know, just
And
what he's mentioned.
it does better CPR than we do, because it's
Right.
consistent, so, yeah.
And they're battery powered in case.
They are.
Okay.
We charge them, and then there's always a backup battery, and they go for up to like an hour and a half per battery on full charge. So, if we have to do CPR on someone for an hour and a half,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
we're way behind the 8 ball. but-
Yeah.
So our average is 30-40 minutes, so. The one other thing that I didn't put on here is that Chief Walich and I will be in Deer Creek State Park this weekend for the Ohio Fire Chiefs Fall Symposium. A couple of the highlights and why we're going is they've got a couple of panel discussions. They've got a big discussion on levies and funding issues. And then there's some legislative stuff, legislative 101, to kind of help newer fire chiefs get into that and understand the legislative workings of the fire code and things, so. That's where he and I would be this weekend. Yeah, that's all I have. Any questions?
Do you think, the fire marshal's gonna put Warren County under a burn ban?
I imagine if we don't get rain in the next couple of days, I
Yeah.
imagine it's coming. Also, October, November are burn ban months, which
Okay,
we're gonna blast out
all right,
on the social media,
that's
so.
good.
But yeah, I imagine it's, because it's right up against us. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of time, and, was it over the weekend, I
Yeah,
believe?
free, I think.
Yeah. And then, Harlan Townships, others down south had some pretty significant brush fires over the weekend, so. People have been calling and asking if they can have, like, nope. Not today.
No?
And then also, I received the fireworks permit for the the hill climb down at, so we're doing it this week, so I'll be looking into that. and Making sure that they've got the required clearances and stuff. Looking at the pictures is, they've got the required clearance, but I like to go down and put eyes on and make sure. The good thing with them is that they use Rossie's fireworks. Rossie's a very reputable company that I've worked with several times in the past, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue. That's all I got.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next up, we're going to the zoning department report. Ms. Lowy,
Good evening.
good evening.
The first thing I wanted to mention is on Thursday, we have our BZA hearing. And this was set to be the Drew Paramore's conditional use and site plan for Ohio Greenworks. This meeting is now going to be split into 2. Thursday, they're just going to be considering the conditional use aspect, which is, are you allowed to have that business on that property? The site plan will follow. There's a lot of agencies involved, and so one of the sticking points has become the stormwater management plan. with the Warren County Engineer's Office, they need a formalized plan, and so that could cause a change to the layout of the site, and so he's holding off on the site plan because it would just have to be revised. So the second hearing is at a yet to be known future date. So anybody that comes to the meeting Thursday night will sign a list so that they can be contacted when the second half of the hearing is going to occur.
Do you need to change the website or social media post we made?
I mean, it's still being held. It'll just be.
Yeah. I don't remember if it said that it was site plan also.
Yeah, it says conditional use and site plan. So the approval is conditional use and site plan. It's always required. You can't have the conditional use without the site plan, so.
Okay.
So if you could theoretically be approved for a conditional use and denied for a site plan, so. All right, another one is I'm working on a zoning violation. I won't disclose the who. Working with the property owners though, this is gonna lead to a future application regarding some zoning issues on your property. What else? I received the printer's draft copy today for the magazine, so once I approve that, it'll go out to print later this week. And that's about all the major things.
All right.
Good. You guys have any other questions?
No, thank you. Appreciate it, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy, appreciate it. Next up, administrator's report, Mr. Edwards.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Quick update on the State Route 73 bridge projects. We had a meeting the Wednesday after our last board meeting. And a lot of the ideas that were tossed around to improve the traffic and everything, especially for sauerkraut weekend, were not approved by ODOT at the state level, even though they were their ideas. So about half of them they're still going to implement, but they're not going to be able to provide the 4 OSP police officers to direct traffic. That will only have one, and that will be one to trigger the signal on the bridge that's currently being worked on and control traffic the best it can at that location. So basically they said
That poor person.
that is that the only place they can provide that type of service without being paid is where the actual project is being conducted. So the additional police at 42 and Coleman Avenue were denied, as well as 73 and Old Court Avenue, out towards Old. Those were denied. They are going to have billboards up on the interstates, directing traffic off of the interstates coming from the Columbus area to get off at the 35 exit and come down 42. And likewise, coming up from Cincinnati, get off the State Route 48 exit and come up 42 from the south. Any Renaissance Festival traffic, they're saying to go on through 73 and come in on 73 that way. One thing we did learn is that it probably just has something to do with maybe why they're have limited ticket sales for Renaissance Festival, is that the State Highway Patrol has been monitoring the past year's traffic, and it's pretty much 50-50, about 48%, I think, is that comes from, because the Renaissance Festival comes from the west. The rest comes from the east. And they've had trouble at 71 every year, traffic backing up clear out onto the interstate. And so whenever that happens, whenever they get traffic on any, I guess, exit ramp, they automatically close the intersection down until traffic clears. So that's one thing that will be happening during Sauerkraut Festival weekend also, is that, if that gets bottlenecked up or whatever, they said they'll close it down, so.
Which means then all the Renaissance Festival people would have to come through Wingsville
Well,
to
yeah.
get there, right?
Everybody's gonna
Oh,
have
it
patience
has-
that weekend.
Yes.
So, they're putting together a media blast, and then, we're also going to incorporate the chamber as, for all the festival posts, and just, let people know what's happening. The bridge will still just be a one-lane bridge at that time with the traffic light as it is now. The other good news, I guess, I got out of that, they kind of let the cat out of the bag that, don't know what stage it's in, but the turn lane on 73 at Old 73 is moving along. So it didn't say what status it was in, but it's definitely in the pipeline, and it's either, I don't know if it's out for bid yet or not, but it's coming.
Are they gonna open Corwin Road during that weekend?
Yes, they're gonna, all construction will be stopped for that weekend, and then they're gonna have Corwin Road open underneath the bridge. Road department had a visibility complaint due to lack of us being able to bushwhack this year because we don't have a tractor or mower. So I want to thank the guys for going out and taking care of it the next day after we had the complaint. And they had to do it the old fashioned way.
Scissors.
Sigh. Yeah, Caleb didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
All us old guys knew what it was.
And the resident couldn't see you out driving, he called back and was very, very appreciative and wanted me to pass along the thanks. Likewise, Corwin still has their Second Street request in. Again, that's just on there to keep us reminded. Fire department still working with the prosecutor's office on clarifying and through the classification of fire department employees and the proper pay structures based on their job descriptions and services that they're providing. And getting into the definition of volunteer versus paid. MEDICOUNT, Medicaid ambulance supplemental payment program, that's on in the packet tonight to get approved. This has come up, they're using PCG as a sub-provider. They've basically taken all the clients, and I think Diane, you produced a good article that you found online. It pretty much describes this, what it's for, and that is, to draw down more of the Medicaid reimbursement, out of the state and federal government for the Medicaid runs, which I believe only totaled in that period that they did, went back on, it's in that spreadsheet, only amounted, I think, 55 runs, I believe. And so my take on it is then we could probably draw back 65% that we weren't reimbursed. Usually those runs get billed at approximately $1,000 per run for cost of providing that service, but they only pay off on about $200 to $300. So I think we billed out $49,000 last year and collected back, I believe it was either $9,000 or $11,000. So that remainder of that $36,000 to $38,000, we could be, this company then will resubmit and draw down on Medicaid reimbursements, I think up to 65%. So it's not going to be a big windfall, except for we will get back when this goes through, which probably won't be until 2026. It'll be retroactive for when we apply, so if we get in with the first group of people, then we will get that retroactive and anything thereafter. So it'll be a decent amount each year. It's not a huge windfall, but it's a little bit helps.
Yeah.
It should probably add the way we've been billing. I don't know. I'm just gonna ballpark it at about 30,000 maybe a year additional revenue. And that's probably why it's in our best benefit, in my opinion, with the contract that's been provided by MEDICOUNT, is use their services, and the 10% that they'll take off of that reimbursement for them doing the majority of the work and so forth on this billing, then it only makes sense. Yeah, it's gonna be roughly $3,500 a year, $2,000 a year that we can afford to have somebody take on all that additional work. We still have to provide them with proper information and data, but they're gonna be responsible for doing 85% of the work. Any questions on that? If not,
That's a good explanation.
next meeting, October 1st, we will have guests here, Judge Loxley and Judge Fisher from the county, to make a short presentation. Other than that,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Next up, we have fiscal officer report. Mr. Fitzsimmons.
Believe it or not, I don't have much to say this week, or this time, so. I know they're working on getting everything invested. Once they get it all together, we'll have a better report. I just keep seeing the tickets coming in that we're, buying the securities. But other than that, there's not a lot to report at this time. I'm just kind of quiet.
Good.
Unless you guys have any questions about
Nothing new
anything
on
with bills
documents,
or anything?
nothing new on document scanning or?
So I submitted, I got the forms that I wanted submitted, I've got the workflow submitted, and they're working on that right now. And then, once we get that hammered out, the next piece will then be working on getting stuff scanned into the system, and we'll have to have those discussions of how much we wanna spend towards, the mass, how we end up doing it. Whether we break it out over a couple of years or whatnot, and the pricing and so forth, and kind of go from there. But right now, we're just getting that one piece taken care of, and then we'll flip over to the document side. And then I was just actually making a note to myself, we'll have to get the retention schedule adjusted as well. Because right now, there's retention schedule for all the other departments allows for electronic, but the fiscal office, it just wasn't updated, so we're gonna have to update that so it can be electronic or paper, and but that'll be that part of the process as well. So it's still happening.
Okay.
It's moving a little slower than I anticipated.
Well, good. Thank you, Brandon.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. All right, next we're moving on to old business. Talking anything with the trees so far? Are they just dry?
Just, I know, that's what I'm just
You
thinking.
better just leave that
You
on
better just
hold.
leave it on hold,
That would
exactly.
be a hold,
Yes,
yes.
we don't want them dying.
165 Minor Street, do we have any more on that right now?
Have been involved since our last meeting with two different groups, the chamber and also the moms committee. And so it has been brought up to those two groups' attention, and there has been some interest shown in getting involved with our committee on what to do with 165 Main Street. Those two different options. So,
That's good, sounds good. Do we have any other old business? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to the new business. Do we have any questions or concerns with the bills? Don't have any? I do not either. Next, we will have legislation. We'll go into that. Here it is. Wait for guests to catch up. Okay, we have resolution 2024-110. This is resolution entering into addendum to the client services agreement with MEDICOUNT Management, Inc. for EMS billing purposes of revenue enhancement services. This is what you spoke about earlier, correct, Gus?
yes, currently they do all our medical billing, and I believe the fee on that was just increased to 7.5%, I think, about 2 or 3 years ago. So this portion of it will be at 10%.
You said we wouldn't see any money until maybe 2026.
Yeah, because right now what they do is by the end of this month, they have to submit to all the groups of Ohio, to the state of Ohio. There's they explained that there's a long process that this has to go through. And so the final approval, they basically got to get the approval through the state and so forth, and then it has to be funded and approved. And yeah, they don't expect the first checks to be cut until 2026.
And we don't know anything until, because they'll just take the money out of what we
Correct,
received.
whatever we receive, then they will bill us 10%, or yeah, 10%.
I'll make a motion. Anybody else have any more questions on it?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion on resolution 2024-110. Make a motion to approve resolution.
Second that resolution.
Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
All right, this resolution's passed the 17th day of September.
Next, we have resolution 2024-111. This is a resolution to approve entering into a grant assistance agreement with LEXIPOL LLC for Fire Department Safer Grant, year 2024, for fiscal year 2024. So I know Chief spoke about this a little earlier. Do you want to add any more to this resolution?
No, it's, they cover the first 3 years fully, for however many we decide we're asking for 6. So they cover the first 3 years fully of their salary and any additional training and stuff that we have. And then, you know, after that, it's up to us to take it on. Hopefully with the passing of our levy, we'll be able to continue that on.
This, I remember last time we had two options. One is, two options to ask them to write them, whether we do the edits and everything, right? So
Correct.
which one are you proposing here?
The full. The full.
Okay.
They've got, honestly, they've got an excellent pass rate. They're 86% pass rate, I believe.
It was about 4,000 some?
4,800.
4,800, okay.
4,800,
Okay.
that's 6,000, because we only have a contract with Lexipol, there's a 20% discount of $1,200 for a net of 4,800.
Okay.
They've got the experienced grant writers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gamble whether we'll get it or not really, but, it's not like a ton of money if we don't get anything. And is it a chance that we would get partial? Or is it an all or none on the safer grant?
It's an all or none.
It's an all or none?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, whereas
But
like
you said
the
it was
low
like
grant.
80, I think you said 80% of?
86% success rate.
Okay,
So,
that's a pretty good gamble.
yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Really, and, you know, in talking with some other area chiefs that have gotten the safer grant, our current department and how it's set up and the run volume, and this is exactly what this grant was set up for.
Makes sense.
Yes, so
Okay.
I'm very optimistic.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-111.
I will second.
All right. Roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
This resolution's passed this 17th day of September.
Next, we got, other would be MEDICOUNT contract addendum. So you have that, Gus?
Isn't that what we just did? Or what did
That's what I thought.
Right.
I just had that on there to explain it, so
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, good, okay.
took care of it before we got to.
Sounds good to me. Do we have any correspondence?
Yes, we do. Scott, you have any?
Well, I just got a piece here from, yeah, getting old. Romar Corporation, winter is coming. Time to get your fleet and equipment ready. Just some salt brine remover, or cleaning products, asphalt cleaning products, anti-stick coating for the beds to make sure all the salt comes out, which, as much as we wash, that's not a problem.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, Otarma has sent out their annual appointments, or anybody that wants to run for their board. Supposed to be turned in no later than October 15th, so that if anybody has any interest, they have the information here to do that. Also for the Warren County Commissioners, we have a legal notice for a public hearing to consider proposed amendments to the Warren County subdivision regulations on September 24th at 9:30 a.m. And then we also have the September edition of the Warren County Health District News and Information.
Okay.
And if County Township Association, we're having a meeting on the 26th of September at 1800 at Union Township Meeting Room. I am planning on going,
I was gonna do that too,
so,
yeah.
pardon me?
We all should be there.
Okay, cool.
Original-
Wayne Township will be
Yeah.
well represented.
We'll stand.
What time's the meeting?
6.
6, 1800.
1800, yeah.
Okay.
My evil plan to get you all converted to 24-hour
Uh-huh.
time.
He's showing up at 8 AM going, where is everybody?
Where is everybody?
No, I'm on military time. I run with the electric.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all military time, so yeah.
well, that's the 24
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next week, elected officials' comments. You guys have any?
I know.
I don't have
I
any.
don't have any either. So I know we have a work session going to. We have no executive session, correct? We're good there? And, I'll call adjournment of this, and then we'll go into work session thereafter. So I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting tonight.
I will second.
All in favor of the adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, like sign.